Howdy folks, Nathan here with Andre, and we are doing a top 10 on the worst selling cars for 2017. Now this is an Autoblog list that we're turning into a video.
Yeah, thanks to our friends at Autoblog, they put this list together, got all the numbers, but we wanted to tell you guys about it because it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool list, and a lot of the vehicles we're going to be discussing have been discontinued for 2018, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's get started right away.
Number 10 on our list is the Mercedes-Benz B-Class electric hatchback, sold 744 units in the entire year.
For what it was, well, frankly, it didn't seem like that many people were interested in it.
Well, the electric cars are actually getting more and more popular these days. Just look at the Chevy Bolt
Oh yeah.
EV and the rest of them. But the Mercedes is kind of an older electric car that's still on sale here. And I'm sure Mercedes, is looking to improve it and go much further with their next generation of cars.
That's right. The B-Class cars, we haven't had access to very many of them over the past couple decades. But hopefully in the future we'll get some more. Now let's go on to number 9, and a car that I'm very sad to say is being discontinued, and that's the Dodge Viper. Only 585 examples sold last year.
Yeah, the production is over. We did kind of a special video about this car last year, so you can check it out on our channel, TFL Car and TFL Now, this channel. But yeah, I am a little sad about this car because it represents kind of big American muscle. But it was redesigned with a manual transmission for the last generation,
right.
And it just never kind of took off in sales.
Yeah, Roman has his theories as to why these cars didn't sell. I tend to think that Americans are on dope, and they shouldn't be, because it's a great car and they should have bought more, but I feel bad.
And Dodge, did this push where they went to every racetrack and they actually set record laps with special versions of the Vipers. Still, over, gone. What's next?
The next one is unusual. It's the Acura NSX, and only 581 were sold last year, and that is unusual.
Yeah, well, the car just came out after a long period of development.
Yeah.
They first introduced it, then sort of redesigned it. It took several years, about 4 or 5 years. Finally, boom, the car is here. Roman got to test drive it at the launch event.
I drove one too.
And I've never driven one, but I really want to.
It's incredible. It is basically a inexpensive P1. That's one way to,
a hypercar?
Yeah,
basically.
It is so fast, and it's just incredible to drive. I just can't believe that only 581 were sold.
Well, let's hope they'll sell more this year. I mean, these are special cars. They're actually built in the United States.
That's right.
And very powerful, but, they're going for about, 150,000 or approximately, plus or minus?
If you look at what the other cars they compete with are actually going for, it's a bargain. If you're looking at it just as an Acura, yeah, it's pretty expensive.
So guys, please buy more Acura NSX. I don't know.
Well, here's one that it competes with, and that's number 7 on our list.
Nissan Gtr sold only 578 units in the year, and that's number 7 on this list. And this is kind of a puzzle, but it's an old car.
It is. I mean, yes, the electronics and everything else under the skin are still absolutely state-of-the-art, but the looks of the vehicle, the interior, all that is basically the same. And I think people really are looking forward to getting a new GTR.
I think the GTR has played out.
Yeah.
I mean, when it first came out, it was hot, it was super fast. Then, the transmission issues were kind of sorted because people were launching them and blowing up, and then it became a really solid, really fast car. Heavy car, though.
Heavy, but reliable, and, altogether for what it is, a daily driver that just happens to be a supercar. Hopefully in time we'll get a new GTR. There's rumors about it. Nissan does this a lot, though. Nissan always seems to go 2 or 3 years past the due point of a car, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
I mean, I'm sure they're focusing in other areas or doing something behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Hopefully they are. Now, the next car is another one that I was a little surprised with, especially given the hype of the vehicle when it came out, and that's the Bmw i8. They sold 488 of them last year, and this is on our list at number 6.
And it does compete in some ways against the Acura NSX. I mean, it's also kind of a hybrid performance car in a lot of ways. Maybe not quite the envelope of performance as the NSX, but still, we took it on a track, with our pro driver, and It was just a good sorted car. It just doesn't have the emotional state, with that small 3-cylinder turbo and the electric motors.
I think it's a drop-dead gorgeous, cool-looking car that looks really, really, really fast, but it's only very fast in reality.
Yeah, it's like the guts of it kind of don't match how it looks.
Right.
In mostly.
Now they're supposed to update it, and hopefully they will, and give it maybe a little bit more performance. Number 5 is sort of a surprise for me because I thought they discontinued it last year.
Well, number 5 on our list is the Kia K900, which is their largest and the most luxurious sedan. They're changing Hyundai and Kia. They're basically the same company, sister companies.
Right.
They're changing their positioning on how they position their cars.
Right.
So the Kia is more kind of youth-oriented,
Yep.
a little bit more sporty. Hyundai, a little bit more luxurious, a little bit nicer.
And then Genesis is on top of all that.
Boom, Genesis, luxury, performance, full
Right.
on. So the K900 no longer makes sense.
The K900, 455 were built in 2017.
Yeah, low numbers, but the car is moving off.
Yeah.
Next on the list is I'm really sad about, actually.
Yeah, but it's not discontinued yet, and that's the Alfa Romeo 4C.
407 4Cs were sold in 2017, and you and I actually went on the launch of it. Remember that?
Yep, that was a fun time. That was actually one of your earlier launches, too.
Yeah, and we went to the racetrack.
Yep, when we carved.
We went in the city. It was so awesome. The car just felt, the sound of the car. But it's kind of hard to live with on a daily basis. Yes, it's a performance car that you can take to the track and have fun at the track. But on a daily basis, getting in and out of it is difficult.
Yeah.
The trunk space is almost non-existent.
It lacks, you know what it lacks? I'll tell you. Even though it's hard to get in and out of, and trust me, it is for me, and it doesn't have a lot of storage, it's missing one thing that I think it needs to be a great sports car.
Does it
Manual transmission. Its dual clutch transmission's excellent. When I asked them if there would be one, the Italian guy, scolded me and yelled, "No!"
No.
And he was mad at me for asking, which was crazy because the way the tub was created, and the tub is really the whole car.
Yeah.
It was built to have that particular transmission with it, so there were no extra outlets for a manual transmission. I think it's a weak excuse. Let's move on to number 3, which is the Bentley Flying Spur. They sold 257 last year.
Well, I don't know much about this car. I've never driven the Flying Spur. All I know, it's really long, it's really luxurious, it's got a big B on the front for Bentley, and luxurious car.
Yeah, the bottom line is that this is the amount of vehicles Bentley builds is not in comparison to any of the other
Yes.
Germans or anything else. But it gets even worse when you get to number 2, which is also a Bentley. It's the Bentley Mulsanne.
Yes, Mulsanne sold 98 units.
Just 98
98 units in a year. But here's the thing. I haven't driven either of these Bentleys. If both of them were standing in front of me and they said, drive one or the other, I'll pick the Mulsanne.
Yeah.
Because it just has bigger presence, it's taller, it's more macho looking.
I like
it's
the
just
slab
big.
sides of it, too.
Yes.
The way it's designed, it's just a beautiful car.
But it's custom made.
It is. Unfortunately, sedans have been losing out to SUVs and crossovers. Bentley's selling the hell out of the Bentayga.
Yes.
Jeez, who would have thought that, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's get to number 1, and that is, well, you tell them.
The Ford GT. Ford's supercar, hypercar, I don't know what you want to call
It's
it.
a sexy, sexy car.
Yes, I really wish to get in one, but they're so rare. 89 units were sold in a year, but they're just ramping up their production, right? It's a limited production car. Ford actually had applications. You had to apply to own it. A guy, John Cena, the wrestler,
Yeah.
actually sold it before the contract.
Yeah, and now they're suing them.
And now they're suing him. Ford, what is going on?
Well, it gets worse than that. There are a lot of high-end celebrities who have been rejected. There is a former race driver who was rejected, even though he has the old GT40. Guys, we know that it's limited. It turns out that they initially were going to build just 500 of them, and the demand has been so impactful that they decided to go to 1,000. So instead of a 2-year run on the vehicle, there'll be a 4-year run, and maybe they'll increase it more. I doubt it.
It is the rarest car right now.
It is.
On sale. But how about for a bonus we do something different?
Okay.
First, you and I did the best-selling pickup trucks list.
Yes, we did.
And that's on this channel, and you'll be able to click through it using the cards either up here or in the link down below.
Right.
And trucks are hot. Ford F1 Series, Ford F-Series was the best-selling truck, but there was a surprise. It's not the best-selling truck manufacturer, just a nameplate.
Yeah, General Motors gets that title because when you combine the GMC numbers and the Chevrolet numbers,
And the
boom,
mid-size numbers.
and the mid-size numbers, they actually outbuild Ford. Yeah, and you guys can click over there and have a look at our little list. It's pretty cool, and it's kind of some of the numbers are actually pretty surprising.
Yep. So go back to tflcar.com and
TFLtruck.com.
for news, reviews, and roll reviews, and a lot more of these lists.
See you guys.
And thanks to our friends at Autoblog for getting this list ready.
Thank you, Autoblog.